Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Box Office Receipts for the weekend of September 20th, 2019. I'm your host, Tyler Callahan, and we had quite an interesting weekend. I'll go over that as well as some international updates and what is coming out this weekend. Just a small hint, not much. So let's start with the top 5. In first place is Downton Abbey with $31 million. In second place is Ad Astra, opening with $19 million. Third place is Rambo Last Blood with $18.8 million. In fourth place, dropping from first, is It Chapter 2 with $17 million, for a total now of $178.9 million. Lastly, in fifth place is Hustlers with $16.8 million for a total of $62.3 million. So the top 3 were a bit different than what I had expected. I thought they were going to be more hype for Rambo than Downton Abbey, but I was wrong. Downton Abbey did fantastic with the older crowd, and for an opening weekend of $31 million, it is the best opening for the small studio focus features. For Rambo, it did alright. Not a bomb, but nothing spectacular. Now for Ad Astra, I was surprised it took second place, and it did so barely with just about a $200,000 difference between it and Rambo. Now while the movie got great reviews, and personally I liked it, it did take a beating on the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. But I understand why. I've watched some of the TV spots, and it paints a very different movie to what you actually get. So I feel a lot of people are writing bad reviews because it did not get what they expected. So we have to see how it does next weekend. This could have bad legs. Yes, 19 mils is a decent to good opening, but if the legs are terrible, it might struggle to even hit 45 to 50 million. It dropped a big 57%, but that was expected with 3 movies releasing in one weekend, all catering to more of an adult audience. Hustlers held well and should finish around 90 million, so that's pretty good for STX Studios. Lastly, I want to talk about last week's bomb and how bad it has continued. And of course, I'm talking about the Goldfinch. Compared to its opening weekend, it dropped a whopping 71% to make only $760,000 for a total now of $4.6 million. It still has not passed its estimates for a $5 to $10 million opening. If I do a special episode about the fails this year, you can bet the Goldfinch will be at the top or right behind it. Now let's head over for some international updates. Downton Abbey has already opened in some markets and has made $41.2 million for a worldwide total of $75.5 million. I did not expect this movie to go past $100 million worldwide, but here we are. Ad Astra had a decent start with $26 million internationally for a worldwide opening weekend of $46.5. This would have been better had it not been for the estimated $90 million budget. It will need amazing legs to make some kind of profit, which at this point means making at least $250 million worldwide, if not more. At least for Disney, this Fox movie should not cost them as much as Dark Phoenix did, so that's something. Hustlers is starting to make more money, with it now at $9.8 million internationally for a worldwide total of $73.6 million. It Chapter 2 is doing good, but is starting to slow down. It is now at $206 million for a worldwide total of $386 million. At this point now, it will clearly not get close to the first It worldwide. And funny enough, right now, the ratio domestic and international for It 2 is almost the exact same as the first It. The first It finished with a 46.8 domestic to 53.2 international split. And right now, It 2 has a split of 46.6 to 53.4. So it's interesting to see that while the sequel overall is making less money than the first, the ratio right now shows that the level of interest between North America and the rest of the world is the same. So there's only one new movie coming out this week, and that is the latest movie from DreamWorks Animation, Abominable. Since it has been a while since the last kid movie, this should do good, but it will not likely be a breakout hit. I would say this has an easy shot at first place, but Downton Abbey may put up a fight. My prediction for the weekend top 5 is in first place Abominable, second place Downton Abbey, third place Ad Astra, fourth place Hustlers, and fifth place Rambo Last Blood. For the rest of the top 5, I believe it will be very close. Based on the last Rambo movie, that had a second weekend drop of 60%, and that's a pretty big drop. If we take that into account, then that would mean for Last Blood would make $7 to $8 million next weekend. I know for sure Hustlers should make more than that. For Ad Astra, it really depends on the audience reception overall and its legs. Rotten Tomatoes does not paint a good picture, but we'll have to see. But what do you think will be in the top 5 this weekend? Let me know on Instagram at Tyler Callahan Media and on my Facebook page. Link to it is in the description. That's it for this week's episode of Box Office Receipts, and see you next week.